Greetings, users and programs. This is Atari Living Sacrifice. Congratulations on finding one of the most addicting button-clicking simulator games you will ever play. You will figure out by level 15 or so if this game is for you, and so far, I am absolutely addicted. It's all I've played since I was introduced to it, it's all I think about, and it's become an absolute obsession. If you're anything like me, you have a ton of questions, and quite frankly, all the information I have found from the STFC content creators has been covering stuff that is light years ahead of where we are as new players. I was just trying to figure out how to find freaking dilithium, and all I could find were 20 and 40 minute videos talking about the 100 different currencies you have access to at level 1763 and how to min-max the latest officer that just got released. For example, there's a guy named itsLewb, L-E-W-B. He has a great video for new players, which I am going to link in the description, but it's still from the perspective of an extremely high-level player. And when I watched it, a lot of the info was still way past where I needed to know when I was like level 8 and level 12 and level 15. And now that I'm almost level 20, I went back and I rewatched that video from itsLewb. I understood it a lot more of what he was covering now that I've had a lot more experience in the game. So what I want to do is just really try to... I'm going to cover what is probably considered basic information that I couldn't find any information on. And the crazy thing is, I can't tell you how many people in chat, people in the stream have been like, dude, I've been playing this game for 1, 2, 3 years and I didn't know that. All right. So streaming this game while I'm playing, people have been coming in the chat and really helping answer questions. And it's absolutely crazy how much that has helped. So if you're a new player, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Because we will be documenting what we learn as we go, so you and I will be able to grow together as players. So you'll grow right along with us, and I will do my best to present the information that you need in the order that you need it. All right? There's a lot of info to cover, so if I were you, I would put the video on in the background while you play, maybe even put it at 1.5 or 2x speed. And then just slow it down when I start talking about something that catches your interest, or just use the shortcuts in the description to skip ahead to the specific information you were searching for when you did your Google search. By the way, thanks to Zero G's, Drunkard, Mord, Darth TARDIS, and everyone else that's been hanging out with us during the live streams over at Twitch, and for taking the time to help us and explain all this basic stuff. All right? So the first thing I'm going to share with you right now, because this is the one that seems to get a lot of people in chat were like, dude, I've been playing this game for years and I had no idea about this. The daily mission keys. So if you come over here, if you click on gifts, the little claim, see in the top right, you click on that, and then you come over to recruit. There's once a week, there's this mission key drop, right? So you can get it once a week from the game, but if you go to the website which is going to be linked down below, and you click over, it'll bring you to the home page, you click on the store, and then you come over to web gifts, click on web gifts, it will bring up a daily mission key drop. All right, so you claim that there, and boom, you'll have to link your account, and it pops up this daily mission key. And so now, come in here and I click on it, and I got some mud shards. By the way, I'm going to list a bunch of sites and spreadsheets in that description that have helped me a lot, and that was shared with me. So check out the description for links to all these places that we're talking about. So what does this daily mission key mean to you? Daily mission keys tease you and help you by trickling in officer shards for some very rare officers. And you might notice you need a lot of shards before these officers will actually unlock. For example, Khan, I've got 9 out of 110. So you need a lot of shards before they actually unlock. So getting one key every day from the site versus just once per week from the actual game is obviously a big difference. Getting one key a day will change you unlocking some of these very rare officers from months of gameplay to weeks of gameplay. And that brings us to a great point about this game. This is not a traditional MMO where you just grind levels as fast as you can and try to get to the end game content. This game is a way of life. It's kind of like Game of Thrones in the Star Trek universe. It is a slow, methodical strategy game. Strategery game. Let's go. The slow, methodical strategery game of alliances and making both friends and enemies. This is a war game, and people will attack you for seemingly no reason, and you should not lose your mind over this stuff when that happens, because otherwise, it would just be Farmville in the Star Trek universe if nobody ever did anything out of line, right? So don't freak out. Play the game. Enjoy it. It's alright. Your first objective in the game is going to be boldly go with Spock. I'll pull this up here. So boldly go with Spock is going to be your first major objective in the game. Basically, it's walking you through the process of getting from level 1 to level 15. Level 1 to 15 is the tutorial. Take your time, don't be in a rush to level up. The game changes drastically once you hit level 15, and it will change drastically again once you hit level 20. And the amount of time it takes to go from level 1 to 15, from level 15 to 20, will grow exponentially longer than it took you to get through level 1 to 15. Alright? The Boldly Go with Spock is basically trying to not force you, but move you along to level 15 within, I want to say, 7 days. If you hit level 15 within 7 days, you get some major bonuses of things that, you get the officer Spock, very helpful. So try to do it within the week, but, again, really just enjoy the game and have fun. But it is nice to, if you do accomplish all this, it is very nice bonuses to get pretty dang early. Real quick, if you have a friend that you want to play this game with, make sure you transfer to their server before you hit level 13. Okay? The second you surpass level 12, the only way to play with them would be to start a whole new account, because you can only transfer servers once. Alright, so if you have a friend you want to play with, do it now before you finish level 12. Right? Because once you do that, you can never transfer servers without starting a whole new account. And while we're at it, let me go ahead and show you. You can see what server you're on. The way you see what server you're on, you can click any player, and you see this little symbol right here. It says Home 709. We are on server 709. That's how you see what server you're on. Next question, can this game actually be free to play? Yes, in fact, there are a lot of benefits of being a free-to-play player. There are two ways to look at this. If you want to reach the higher level content faster, then spend money. If you're going to spend money on anything, I would recommend spending it on these extra unlocks for building and research. This is by far the biggest bang for your buck, and this will help you level your ops building. This is your ops building. It will help you level up your ops building faster, which is what dictates what level you are considered and what content you have access to. So what would be the benefit of staying free to play or turtling and slowing your progress down? Well, for example, remember those daily mission keys. Alright, if you are level 17 and you've collected enough shards to get the higher level officers, and you've leveled up all your ships, and you've probably spent some times on Saturdays doing something called Cosmic Cleanup, which is basically the catch-up mechanic. See it right here. Basically the catch-up mechanic of the game. Then you will be insanely stronger than anyone else around your level that rushed it. Okay? Also, the higher you go in your ops level, the more officers you will have access to. Let me show you what I mean. You'll have access to more officers. But because you have access to more officers, that also means the pool of potential shards that you could pull will be more and more diluted, which means there'll be less chance of you pulling the shards for certain important officers that you really need early game, like Chen, for example. Because I bought the extra building and research slots, I will probably hit level 20 this weekend, which will be this is my 3-week anniversary of playing the game. And from level 16 or so, there were quite a few dailies and quests that were very challenging for me because I didn't have my officers and ships maxed out. The other day, I teamed up with a free-to-play player during one of the PvP events. He was 2 ops levels below me, and he was drastically more powerful. They had all the best unique and specialty ships, I think is what they're called in the game. He had his officers maxed out, and he had officers that I hadn't even seen yet, and he absolutely dominated during this PvP event. So yeah, don't think just because you're a free-to-play player that you're missing out on anything at the beginning of the game, because there are actually a lot of advantages to being a free-to-play player and having slower progress of leveling up. Now, once you hit level 15, you will have access to PvP, and you will need to know what the accepted ROE is for your server. What is ROE? Well, that stands for Rules of Engagement. When is it appropriate to attack or skirmish with somebody without starting a potential war between alliances? By the way, most servers follow the standard rules of engagement, but not all of them do. So you need be sure to ask general chat. You can ask general chat right here, hey, can somebody send me a link to the Discord? Or if you're already in an alliance, you can ask them to send you a link to the Discord for your server, so that way you can see what their official ROE rules are. By the way, ROE rules of engagement, are completely made up by the players in that server. They are not forced upon you. They are not sent down by the developers of the game Scopely. It's just people have decided as a conglomerate, as a group, that hey, we're going to have certain rules that hopefully will make the game more fun for everybody. Let's get into that. So some basics of the standard ROE that most servers follow are basically don't attack anything for no reason. Don't attack mining ships for no reason, meaning there must be some benefit for you in the exchange. So for example, you can attack people 2 levels below you and 2 levels above you. So this is a survey ship, also known as a mining ship. And what you do is you come over here, you click on it, you hit scan. I could obviously, my strength and all that, I could absolutely dominate this guy. But down here in the rewards, the only thing I would have a chance of getting would be a PvP chest. And that is not considered, that is not worth it, alright? The enemy must be what's called overprotected cargo. He must be over the protected cargo limit. Okay, so if you come, say, I'll show you this ship. So you see how I've got this green bar right here? That is where this green bar is the overprotected cargo limit. You'll see this one, I haven't reached the protected cargo limit, so I'm still under the protected cargo limit. So if somebody was going through this system right here, and they decided they wanted to attack me for whatever reason, even though I would only give them like 100 ore, they could do it without breaking the rules of engagement. Whereas if somebody came and attacked this ship right here, right now, I'm still under the protected cargo limit, so they would have 0 benefit from attacking me other than just to be a dick. Let's be honest, being a dick can be fun sometimes. So, and there are people on the servers, on servers that will choose that option. This symbol right here is the survey ship, or aka mining ship. I believe everything that isn't a survey ship, aka mining ship, is considered a warship. Technically, you are allowed to attack other warships for no other reason other than to be a dick. There's literally nothing holding you back. However, again, let's say I was able to attack this person. This is all I would get for attacking them. So it really doesn't give me much benefit to attack this person. In fact, it might cost me more in repairs than what it would be worth it. Other thing on the ROE, basic ROE, is something called zero nodes. All right, so you see how this person is currently mining right now. They are under the protected cargo limit, so there's no reason for me to attack them. However, if this node was, if the resources available was at 0, most servers, they ask you to take a screenshot, post it in the Discord, yada, 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 saying they were what's called they were on a 0 node or a Z node. Some servers ask for a 1-minute warning, some ask for a 2-minute warning, where they want you to send a message to the person through chat. You would either chat with them or you would post it in the Discord, depending on the rules of the server, right? So if this was a 0 node, let me find one. Right here, this ship right here, there's 0 resources available. They are no longer mining because the node has been zeroed out. So if you wanted to, even though I can't tell because this player's too low, but I would scan sometimes, even if they're below the protected cargo limit. If you want to take the time to make the screenshot and all that, you can absolutely do that and still be within ROE. You can kill them and still be within ROE for most servers' rules. There is no need for a warning when you're attacking a ship that is over the protected cargo limit. The next thing I'm going to recommend is, as soon as possible, you are going to want to join the largest new player alliance that will take you, okay? The way you do that is you would click on this button in the bottom left. I can't actually show you how to do it without leaving my alliance, but basically you come over to this general vicinity. There will be a button somewhere over here. You want to find the list of alliances, and you can see there will be a button over here. Some say invite only, and then the ones that are open to anybody being able to join. I would recommend joining the largest alliance with the most number of active players, because the benefits of joining an alliance, you see this button right here that says help all. When I click that, I am sending help to everybody in my alliance that is currently building something, researching something, or repairing their ship, okay? It costs you nothing, absolutely nothing, but the moment of time it takes to push this button to help your fellow alliance team members, all right? Mine actually has a visual glitch. It never goes away, so don't worry about that. What pushing this help all button does is it decreases the time needed per request by 1 minute or 1% of the total initial time required, whichever is higher. All right, so for example, my ops building, it says it will take 3 days and 15 hours. So that would be whatever 1% of 3 days and 15 hours is. I could have up to a maximum of 19 people send help. So that would be 19% off the total, whatever the math comes out to, 19% off the total amount of time that it would take to build that. If it was only a 20-minute build time, it would take 19 minutes off instead of 19%. Before level 12, the only speed ups that I would use is the repair speed up on your ships, because that means you're actively playing the game. So go ahead, don't sit there and watch the timer go down to just repair your ship if you're actively playing the game before level 12. As far as building and research speed ups, unless you need something to complete that Boldly Go with Spock new player event, I really wouldn't spend the speed ups before level 12. It doesn't take that long for those buildings and researches to happen. I say this because there was someone in Galaxy Chat the other day that was level 12, and they were complaining that they had run out. They'd already used all of their speed ups. They'd already used all the repairs. They'd already spent all the resources, I don't know how they did that. It's gotta be, this game gives you so many speed ups and stuff like that. So I'm stingy. I'm a stingy player. That's just what I'm like. I don't spend speed ups if I can help it. I've been saving them for the longer times, because 3 days. I don't want to wait 3 days for this to be built when it comes time to build it. So that's what I'm saving my speed ups for, is the further down further you go, the longer it will take to build those things, right? That's what I'm saving those, using most of my speed ups on. The best time to use your speed ups is after the max help has been given by your alliance. So like I showed you here, you push this button right here, you can see I've received the maximum number, 19 out of 19 help for this particular building. And then also, this spot right here doesn't show where the ship repair is, so if you want to see how many helps have been sent to your ship being repaired, you would have to come down over here to this button. You click on the alliances, you click on alliances on the bottom left, you click on the help button, and then you click on this ask for help. This is the only place where you can see the number of help requests have been sent to your ship. So let's say you're trying to be as efficient as possible, but you also want to hurry up and get something done for a quest or a daily event or a reward or something like that, but you don't want to waste speed ups for no reason. You can just come to these two places and look and see, oh, I've only gotten 7 out of 19 help, or whatever your alliance is able to do. So I don't want to spend the speed up on that. I'll wait till I get my full 19 help sent before I use my speed ups. Next thing we're going to talk about is the galaxy filter. I was probably level 10 or 12, maybe even higher, before I saw this, and it was only because a viewer pointed it out to me. Basically what this is, on the bottom right hand side above the system circle, there's this little tab. You click on that, and now you can change the filter from default, which is what you use to see the names of systems. You can click on mining. You can see if you've been to that system, you can see what that system holds as far as resources. You can click on hostiles to see what level of hostiles, because there'll be some missions that say you need to kill a certain number of hostiles between this level and that level, or below this level, or above a certain level. And then lastly would be hazards, and I have not come across hazards yet, so I do not know what those mean quite yet. So in the future video, once I learn what that means, we will be talking about that. Quite frankly, at our level, we don't need to know about it. We're level 15 or below, or even 20 or below, you don't need to know about it yet. So using this filter will help you find, because if you might have put in the Google, you might have searched, where's the freaking dilithium that I need to finish this quest when you're level like 8 or 10 or something like that, right? Using this filter will help you find that dilithium. The only place you can find this dilithium is in the system called Murasaki. And how do you find that? Well, if you come over here to this little tab right here, the Bookmarks tab, you click on that, you can actually look up the system. You type in and it'll pop it up, Murasaki 312. You click on that, you go, and bam, it brings you to the system where the dilithium is. Okay, so now you see this is the only system level 10s can reach for this dang dilithium at this point in the game. And it took me a while to find it. I was flying around everywhere trying to find this dilithium. So that's where it's at. While we're talking about it, the Bookmarks tab. You can bookmark just about anything here. You can bookmark someone's base that you might want to keep an eye out for. You know what I'm saying? You might want to keep an eye out for particular bases for future rating purposes. If they relocate their base, the bookmark will it'll pop to where it was, but it won't show you where their new base is or where they moved the base to. It'll just show you the old location. I'll give you a heads up. At some point, I think it's level 12 or 15, you actually have to start paying for ship repairs. And it will cost you parsteel, titanium, dilithium. It will cost you something, depending on how much repairs you need, it'll cost you those resources to repair your ships. So right now, you probably aren't paying anything to repair your ships, but at some point, you be aware you will have to pay to get your ships repaired. But it is not hard to get these materials at all. Have you ever tried to click on something, but it was behind something else? I want to click this enemy right here, and I can't do it because it's behind this base. Well, all I need to do, see this little arrow that pops up? Well, he moved away now. Let's try this one. See this little arrow that pops up? Bam! Now I can switch between the thing that Now I can get to the enemy behind the base that I'm actually trying to aim for, right? Next tip. If you click on your ship next to the captain, you can see what your warp distance is right there. The other thing you can do, if you want to see what your warp distance is, you can come in here to the details page and scroll down to see it right here. All right, but it is nice to just be able to look and be like, oh, it says I'm warp 19, and sometimes you'll click on a system that says you need 27, so you know let's find one. So it's out of warp range. Requires warp range of 24, so I need 5 more warp if I wanted warp speed or warp range if I wanted to be able to reach that system. This one I'm really close to being able to reach this system just from base stats of this ship without putting any other officers in there to increase warp distance, stuff like that. Speaking of officers, when choosing officers for your ship, when choosing how to crew your ships, what you'll want to do is sort by group, okay? And what this will do is whoever you put in the captain's chair, it will group up. It'll pull everybody to the front that would be in the captain's group. You see that little lightning bolt? That means all these people right here have some type of synergy. They synergize with each other, all right? The synergy bonus is to the captain's ability only. So I put Deanna over here, I put Jordy over here. I get a 3,500 bonus and a 1,000 bonus to the captain's maneuver. That synergy does not go both ways. It only helps the current captain's ability. So if I switch Deanna, I would get it'd give a bonus to Deanna's captain's maneuver, which is completely different, right? 2% and 5%. Same with Jordy. All right, completely different. So I don't get synergy for the entire bridge crew. It's synergy for the captain's ability only. There are more than likely, when you're starting the game, you will pretty quickly. I haven't seen anybody that started playing the game that didn't get Badgie very quickly. Badgie is very unique at the beginning of the game because they actually have something called a below deck ability. And this below deck ability is only active when he's below decks, right? So if you have somebody that has a below deck ability, you can't put them on the bridge. That ability is no longer active. You can see the below deck ability right here is active. Haha, you're all gonna die. 15% penetration to all stats, or to all penetration stats. Awesome. The rest of these folks, the rest of these officers, they do not have a below deck ability. So all they are doing is adding to the strength of my ship over here. But if I take them out, see how much that brings me down. This particular ship only has 3 active slots, whereas if I swap to another ship, this one has an extra slot. Whereas this ship, I'm able to fit 5 people instead of 3. But when I switch out my crews from one ship to the next, it still keeps them there even though they're not being used. Next thing we're going to cover is pre-made crew slots. So one thing you can do, so you can just click on this little box right here. It will pull up all the different you'll have a certain number of slots when you start the game. I didn't learn about this until I was almost level 18, so I don't know how many you start with. But you can save slots, save these crews, so that way you can just quickly switch them in and out depending on what you're trying to accomplish. The next thing, if you click on this officer button at the top left, you can actually sort them by level, rank, class, if they're upgradable or not. And then also there's a little button right here is to filter them. All right, so if you need somebody that I need somebody that's going to give me impulse speed. I've got one person apparently that would give me impulse speed. Hot pursuit. All right, so you can use that to filter out what you're looking for. While we are talking about officers, I'm going to show you away teams. Some very important away teams when you're first getting started in the game. You'll come across these special away teams. You'll notice them because of the rainbow color. They are pretty important at the beginning. Go ahead and start as soon as you can. Start doing these. And the best way to do them this one is lead expedition, and the other one is form trade agreement. You'll notice when I click on this, there's some critical traits down here in the bottom right. All right. The only way to get the critical chance of that is by the traits that are in that the officers have. So I would need impulsive, intimidating, minor, or survivor. And you'll notice Nero has, right now, he's got captain, minor, and intimidating. But I only have captain unlocked. So putting Nero in that slot would not help the critical traits. But what I can do is I can come to this filter right here and see if I have anybody that has those traits active. Right now I do not. So I have a very low chance of making that critical chance go up. So what I'll do is I'll just go by strength to start of somebody that's available. Right now, Mud, I got 100% chance. Got 100% chance of this, but 0% critical chance of getting 218 versus that 7,000. That's a big difference, right? So what I'll do is I'll add these people to increase that chance, but I have 0% chance of critting right now. If I had somebody with one of those traits in there, it would add 5% or 10% or 20% critical chance for that away team. The next thing I'll say, it seems to be it doesn't really matter the strength of the officer as much as it does the rarity, honestly. The rarer the officer that you put in the box, the higher this number tends to go, the reward multiplier. I'm not sure how long that will be the case, but if I put Neelix in, if I put Neelix in, I've got a 100% chance and a 1.08 reward multiplier, right? But if he's only got a strength of 498. If I put in somebody who's stronger, but has a lower rarity, it doesn't give me as much of a reward. Okay, so even though they're stronger, it might not necessarily be the best person to put on the away team. So typically speaking, at the beginning, you're going to just put your strongest people that have a critical. If you happen to have a critical trait, you start with that, and then you just put the strongest people you have that aren't already on a ship being used somewhere else. I'm going to go ahead and show you an example of what it looks like to have a critical chance. So when you're doing away teams, you'll notice this one, I put in Mud, it gives me a 2.71 chance of multiplier, 2.71 reward multiplier, alright? So that goes from 6 reward to 16, and I could put more strength in there and keep making that go up. However, I do have somebody that already has one of the traits down here, so I already got a 20% crit chance. What does putting her on there give me? It brings it from 28% to from 20% to 28%. Okay, so that's how you get those critical chance points. I have been advised by chat to really focus on Kirk and Nero of maxing out those upgrades, because they will have the ones you need for these away teams right here, these rainbow colored away teams. They're the ones that will have the most number of traits for these particular away teams that you will need to do a lot of. And the sooner you can get those crits, the better. The last thing I'll say about these expeditions, the lead expedition and the forum trade agreement, these critical traits will always be the same. Whenever that particular assignment comes around, it will always be the same critical traits. They'll always ask for the same critical traits. So that's how you can plan ahead for that. A quick time saver, if you haven't noticed, these ships, when you click on certain ships, you see how I'm in my Explorer, and they are also an Explorer, so there's no bonus, there's no paper, rock, scissors bonus to me attacking this particular person. Let me try to find somebody my level. Alright, this is a time saver. If you're anything like, if you didn't know, there's a paper, rock, scissors dynamic to this game where you get a slight bonus. This particular ship is an explorer that I've got equipped, is an explorer, and this one is an interceptor. And then the other one is the battleship. So there's battleship, explorer, interceptor. Did you see where I just clicked right there? I can never remember which one's better before I send my ship out. So what I do is I scan, I see it, I click on that button and pull up, and it pulls up this combat triangle. Alright, so I don't have to memorize it, I can pull it up anytime. If you'll notice, there's the battleship, explorer, and interceptor. Those are the only 3 types of ships that are affected by the combat triangle. Every other ship, like the survey ships, defense platforms, armadas, alliance star bases, those fall outside of the combat triangle. So just keep that in mind. But that's an easy way to figure to find which ship you should probably bring on that mission, because you're going to be fighting a battleship. I probably want to bring an interceptor, so on and so forth. The next thing I'll cover is hostiles. Red is when the game is talking about hostiles, they're talking about the red enemies. When you are doing missions, and the enemy is, you're doing missions and the enemy is gold, these are not considered hostiles. So when you're putting together your crews and your officers and your captain and all that, if they say, if the captain's maneuver gives you bonus damage to hostiles, and you try to bring it on this to defeat this particular enemy, which is a mission boss or a mission objective, that bonus will not count towards helping defeat this particular enemy, because they are not a hostile, they are a mission boss. When I first got into the game, I'd click through, and I wanted to build something. I'd click through and be like, can I build that? No. Can I build that? No. Can I build that? No. And then I realized, oh, this is bright green. It's got a bright green halo around it. When I click on it, I can upgrade this one. I have the ability to do that one. So if you're just quickly trying to figure out what you have access to be able to upgrade, and you don't want to click through every little thing, you just see which one is bright green, and that means you have access to building that. While I'm here, I'm going to recommend you do not build something just because you can. Like this one right here, I could upgrade this for free, and I could get this to level 10 fairly quick for free. However, there will be some events that say things like, this one in particular says limited time station upgrade. So if I get points towards upgrading, you might want to save those for those events where you can just bam, 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 knock 3 or 4 of them out real fast. So yeah, don't, just because you can build it doesn't mean you should build it, because quite honestly, these things down here are pretty much useless in the game so far as I can tell. They generate resources, but more than likely, they generate and hold the resources, but more than likely you will have way more of these resources than you'll ever need, and they will not actually generate anything because you're already over the limit. Alright, so this one, see it says max capacity 132,000. Well, I'm at 12.5 million. So I'd have to lose a lot of resources for this to start generating again, for these other ones, buildings to start generating again. For your mining ships. Okay, so now I have my filter set to mining. Let's say there's something I need to mine. I'll give you a heads up. The higher level the system, the more the node will probably be able to hold. So if I need to mine this corrupted data, this system, this level 20 system, only holds 10 per node. Alright, so 10, 10, and 10. However, this level 20 system, all I gotta do is go down to 22. Let's see what this one holds. The max looks to be about, much, much higher, 750. And if I kept going, the further down, the higher the level of the system, the more that node would hold. All right, so keep that in mind while you are planning your mining route. Next thing, if you want to get a little deeper on your scan, obviously this ship would absolutely dominate this level 14 if I was able to attack it, but I can't attack it because it's more than 2 levels below me at this point. If I want to scan it, here in the center, if I want to go even deeper, I want to see what officers they have on the ship. I want to see what their captain maneuvers are. I want to see what they've got below deck. I click this little I button in the center, and I can go even further down the rabbit hole of whether or not I would be able to win or lose. For example, right here, I can see the captain's, this is the battleship. This is the ship's power. The ship has a base power. It is stronger against battleships. The captain's maneuver is Chen. It increases dodge, shield, deflection of armor of the ship by 35% against hostiles. I can see the officer abilities. If you'll notice, the captain's maneuver and the captain's officer ability are both active, but only the officer abilities of the other 2 people that are on the bridge are active, not their captain's maneuver. You can see, I could see here that they have nobody below deck. There's no officers below deck that have a below deck ability. And I can see how many slots they have available to put people down there for strength. And if I can come down here, I can get all the nitty-gritty details of the ship just by hitting that little I button. If you are lucky enough to have something called emergency field rations, I have been told do not spend them until you are at least, these emergency field rations, do not spend them until you are at least level 20. Why? I don't know yet myself, but apparently there's some extremely rare, these emergency field rations are extremely rare, and it's a big waste to use them before level 20, so just a heads up, don't spend them. I've been told many times not to do that. The next thing I'm going to show you is while you're doing missions, at times you'll be given a choice between rewards. The description is not what you want to go by. What you want to do, you want to go by what the actual reward is. For example, if you were given the option of choosing between officer shards and parsteel or dilithium or something you can mine anytime, you can get, always pick the officer shards. I don't care how much of a jerk it makes you because I wanted to save those people, but it's the option that gave you officer shards was to kill everybody willy-nilly. Go ahead and pick the one that gives you the officer shards. Pick the one that's going to give you the reward that you need, not because of the text, because the choices do not affect the game whatsoever. Anything more than just a basic flavor text of, you should have killed that person. You're too soft, stuff like that. So always pick officer shards. Always pick ship parts. Do not waste time getting parsteel and dilithium from the rewards. Pick the one that's going to help you the most. Speaking of missions, you can actually archive missions that you don't want to do, because right now, let's say, I'm trying to gain rep for a particular faction. I don't even want to look at the Federation ones. I can either shrink that, or let's say I wanted to hide this mission right here, no privateer. I can actually click on this one, and then you see this little box over here with the arrow pointing down. I could archive that mission. I don't want to have to scroll past it every time. It is now archived. If I come later on, I decide I want to unarchive it, I click this little box in the bottom left, and then I click unarchive. Let's say you accidentally double-clicked while there's a mission that you're doing, and you're really into the mission. You want to learn about Khan. You want to learn how he's pissed off at the world, and you accidentally double-clicked and you skipped some dialogue. All you got to do is come to the mission that you want to look at, click this little dialogue box, and it will pop up all the dialogue. You can scroll all the way back to the beginning of the mission as far as you've gotten to that so far. Once you hit level 15, you will be able to start participating in PvP, meaning you will be able to kill anybody, anytime, anywhere that is within your level of attack. And then you'll have these little notifications in your box saying, oh, you killed this person. And let's say you're doing a bunch of them at one time. Instead of having to click through each one, instead of having to click that one and read that one, you can actually just check mark this box, select all, mark all as red. Now all is red. Something that I found really annoying, while you are upgrading your research base, you'll notice, I can't show you right now because I'm not upgrading the R&D building, but while you're upgrading it, when you go to click on it, it's going to try to get you to speed it up, right? So if I wanted to click on this, I can't see into anything I'm currently building, currently upgrading, I can't click into it. So at one point, I really wanted to see what I was going to research next, but what was going to open up for me once I finished building my R&D department, but I couldn't click on this button to do that because it was being upgraded. So something you can do on PC, I don't know how to do it on mobile or iPad, but if you click G on your keyboard, that is the quick key to get to the research trees. Also, another shortcut, if you click Alt, you can see if you want to pull up what the hotkeys are, the quick keys, you just hit Alt on your keypad, on your keyboard, and you can see what the quick keys are for everything on your screen. Speaking of settings, the way you access settings in this game, it is not escape. If you hit escape, it'll ask if you want to exit the game. What you do is you click on your profile pic, it will bring up the settings. And I'm not going to click on general because it would actually show my player ID, and apparently that's bad. But this is how you get to all the different things that you might want to mess with. Okay, so general settings, I'm not going to scroll up because it would have my player ID. You're not supposed to show that to anyone at any time. I don't know what they can do with it, but apparently it's bad. Alright, so once you get to the general settings, if you want to turn off the music, you can turn off the music, you can turn it on. There is no volume button. You can't turn it up or down, it's just off or on. Sound effects, same thing. Mission reminders on login, more than likely you'll want to turn that off, so that way every time you log in, it doesn't put you back on the main storyline. And then you got to read through it, but when you were just trying to claim your daily loot box. I would recommend coming in here and making sure extended zoom is on, and you can either enable or disable frequent game animations. If every time you open up a chest and you don't want to see the box actually open up, or you get officer shards, you just want to speed those up. At some point, I believe it's level 12, you'll be asked to relocate your base a couple times. You'll be starting over here in these lower levels, this lower level area. As you go, I would recommend moving further and further to the right, and eventually, once you hit about level 12 or 15, somewhere between 12 and 15, I would recommend moving your base to somewhere in Deneva. Because Deneva is smack dab in the middle. You have access to ore, you have access to Parstol, you have access to dilithium, you have access to gas, you have access to everything you will need for a long time. I'm about to hit level 20, and I have not moved from here since I was level 12, I want to say. Next thing we're going to talk about is power level. What is power level and why does it matter? Well, for where we're at in the game, quite frankly, I don't think it seems to matter too much. Basically, all it is a point system where you can see how many buildings you've built and how many upgrades you've had to your ships, and it's just a cumulative point system for everything you've done in the game. How much research you've done. If I find out that the power level is important for something later down the line, I will make a video saying otherwise. If we're sticking around to the end, I'm going to give you some codes that worked for me. What you do is you come over here to that box right there, redeem promo codes. It'll bring up the Scopely's website, and you will put these codes in this box, and it will give you whatever it gives you. So some codes that worked for me are, I'm going to put these in the description below: Cadet, Commander, Kirk, and Crushers, with the Crushers with an S at the end. Y'all, I've got so much more information on my script. I've got a couple more pages of things we could talk about. But I'm going to keep this video level 15 and below, maybe level 18 and below. So we're going to go ahead and end it. I'm going to go ahead and ask, what tips are we missing? Put your tips that I missed in the comments below. Come on by the live stream, either here on YouTube or Twitch or shoot, we're on TikTok and we're on 1,000 places. Whatever your favorite streaming service is, we're probably streaming live there right now. Come chat with other members of the community in the Twitch chat while we play the game together. We're all playing together and we're laughing and talking about the crazy drama that is happening in the Galaxy chat. We're laughing like crazy at some of these people take some stuff so freaking seriously. As always, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, follow, all that cool stuff you do on whatever platform you're watching on. We will see you on the next one. And remember to keep moving forward!